God, my voice is rough today.
No, I don't know what it is. These sound really different than normal mics too.
No, I think it's also my voice. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
You're like, thanks, but no, it's me.
Shows all weekend. Yeah.
How many did you do this weekend?
6.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I did.
In 2 days?
No, not in 2 days. Thursday to Sunday, I did 6 shows. That's not even, I'll do 9 shows sometimes in that span. Yeah, yep.
No.
You gotta get the money.
No.
Gotta make the money.
That, what you just said, makes me nauseous.
Are you stand up as well?
No.
Oh, well, that's why.
No, but like with the podcast, we've started to do like live shows here and there. But like I have stage fright. I hate talking in front of people.
You have beautiful eyes.
Thank you. I'm like trying to I feel like they're bloodshot. I'm so freaking tired from traveling. Thank you. But I need like beta blockers to get up there. Like I've started to like have panic attacks before. I'm like, how do people do this?
It doesn't even, I used to have adrenaline and now I just.
You get nothing from it now?
Well, now, not that I get nothing from it, but like we call it stage health. Like,
okay,
I wouldn't sneeze. I wouldn't burp. I wouldn't feel pain. And like now all those things happen to me on stage and I have to like not let them happen.
Oh my God.
Because before the adrenaline was just so, real stage health. Like you're just invincible up there.
Yeah.
You don't I literally don't feel pain the same way I do off stage. Like if I accidentally, I'll play a lot with the mic and if I accidentally
bop yourself.
Yeah. Like I have jokes where I, tap it on my face and if I hit my cheekbone, like doesn't even hurt. And I know later it bruises up. So I'm like, I really hit myself in the face with that mic, but you don't feel it on stage. It's crazy.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I have that yet. I just have sheer panic. And then after I'm like, oh, that's not so bad. It was kind of fun. Okay, I'll do it again. And then the whole lead up to the next one, I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this anymore.
That gets easier and easier. That I remember that feeling of just being like so sick, like a week before a show.
Yeah. Well, and the guest episodes too, like even doing this. So
really?
Yeah. Why do you think I had to start the day with a glass of wine? Oh my God, it just nerves. I'm a nervous Nelly, especially with guests like yourself who are so talented. And I mean,
nice.
I wanted to read your bio and people are like, Morgan, introduce your guest already. So hi guys, welcome back to another episode of 2 Hot Takes. I'm your host Morgan. And today I'm joined by the amazing Ashley Gavin.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. And
Thanks
also,
for having me.
Thank you to Spotify for hosting me on my New York trip this week. All of our episodes are going to be recorded in the Spotify studio, and I'm so appreciative of it. Oh, okay, now that I got that out. Your bio, I wanted to read because it's the funniest.
It also might not be up to date, but let's see what happens.
Okay. So on your website, I was like, I wanted to introduce you appropriately. And it goes like the second byline. You're so talented. You've done Netflix, Hulu, Comedy Central, viral crowd work on TikTok, which I loved. I was dying over the one where it was like a girl that has had threesomes.
Oh, yeah.
The best friend was like...
friend's in love with this straight girl who slept with more women than
she has.
The lesbian has.
I was dying. And then you had like another lovely listener, fan of yours in the crowd, and she was wearing headphones and she was autistic. And then someone was like, leave her alone. And you're like, I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, I have a very neurodivergent crowd. So I'm really accustomed to it. I have some trauma. I'm not autistic. I don't have ADHD or anything, but I do have some trauma. So like I relate a little bit. So I always try to be kind and like have a smile and a wink behind any sort of roasting that I do, so that I assure you, if I get the comments, why did you hurt this person? And it's like, the person's laughing. If the person weren't laughing, I wouldn't post that clip. I would never purposefully humiliate someone,
Absolutely. I feel like you might be like me too, where you say things a little more dry and people sometimes have a harder time telling that you're joking.
Yeah.
Like I'm kidding. I'm just drier, guys. But it goes on to say, Ashley is admired for her confidence, authenticity, and unrelenting energy on stage. She is the only angry lesbian beloved by all, including old straight white guys.
It's true.
It goes on to say, if you don't believe it, she was Carnival Cruise Line's first openly gay comedian. Which that's quite the flex. Carnival?
I don't know. I don't know if that's an accomplishment for either party, but it is actually true. I talk a lot about it in my special on YouTube. It was a wild experience, but the reason I bring it up is like a lot of people are like, oh, am I even going to like this? And then it's the men in the crowd who enjoy the show more than anybody, more than the lesbians, more than the straight women. The men are having the best time.
I know. I want to come to a show now. And I saw one you brought, or that you posted, and it was this girl who was supposed to bring her roommate. Roommate ditched her for the boyfriend, and she brought her roommate's dad.
Her roommate's dad. Wow, you really went on a...
I'm telling you, I binged. I was just like, this is good. This is so good.
That one was really fun. That dad was wild. I should post that whole video on YouTube. That was
so good.
Yeah, that was a wild one.
Oh my God, so good. So the theme I have for you today, since you are obviously not straight, is...
What?
Yeah. It's going to be, are the straights okay?
Oh, sure.
So, like, what is going on with the straight community? Like, are they okay? Do we need to check in with them? So, in honor of it being June and Pride Month, we're going to pick on straight people.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. And I'm assuming you're straight.
I am straight.
You're not even a little bisexual?
I feel like everyone questions things sometimes. Like, sexuality is very fluid.
That's the gateway sentence, isn't it?
Isn't it? So, we got some crazy ones for you. It's going to be good.
All right.
Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so up first, this one is posted 2 months ago. It's on Am I the Asshole from Expert Potato 7447.
Love Expert Potato.
Am I the asshole for telling my roommate that I don't give a fuck about her boyfriend's allergies? Are the straights okay?
I don't think we need to read the rest of it. He's dead now.
He's gone. I, 24 female, have been living with my roommate, Lila, 25 female, for about 10 months. We have a 2-year lease, so I really want to fix this so we're not miserable for the next year. And to start, I need to see if I'm wrong. Lila started dating Kyle about 6 months ago. Kyle has severe food allergies to shellfish, nuts, and soy, as well as a lot of more mild/moderate allergies. I use nuts and soy a lot in my cooking, and some occasional shrimp. At first, Lila would tell me that Kyle was coming over, and I would just adjust whatever I was planning on making if it was something that would be aerosolized, mostly nuts, and this was fine. That's a big fucking word. He's never had any reactions at our apartment from my food. But it's slowly escalated, and now they want me to not keep any ingredient in the apartment that could cause him anaphylaxis, even if I'm not actively eating or cooking it while he's over. I've refused, and they've both pushed back a lot on it, and I snapped a little and told them I don't give a fuck about his allergies. I can accommodate him to an extent, but I don't care if the contents of my cabinet make him uncomfortable. He doesn't need to be near my things at all. They're being very dramatic and insisting I'm gonna, quote, kill him with my selfishness by having closed jars of nuts in the kitchen I pay to use. But I'm not going to have my diet restricted by someone who doesn't even live here. Lila isn't speaking to me at all right now, and I feel a little bad now because I do understand how serious allergies are, but I also think they're overextending boundaries by telling me what I can and can't eat when he's not even here. Am I the asshole?
My first hot take on this is Kyle is throwing down some solid dick. That is, if you are allergic to that many things and you haven't been broken up with, man, he is going down on Lila. He is going down. He has some solid finger game. Okay, Kyle. Sorry, what's his name? Kyle. Whatever. I don't even. Massive cock. Kyle has some good game. I will say here, I dated someone with a serious peanut allergy.
Okay.
So actually, I am quite.
You're familiar.
Yeah. With this level of allergy to the point where if she shared a drink with someone who had just ate a small amount of nuts, she would go into anaphylaxis. And to make matters worse, she had a fear of needles, so she refused to carry around her EpiPen.
Oh, come on.
It drove me absolutely crazy. I mean, like, I'm a more cautious person.
Yeah.
I almost was like, how can I get an EpiPen on the black market? Because
I need it for you because you're unwilling.
It really drove me crazy. And we would have to like carry Benadryl everywhere we went. She would have to take so many Benadryl. The point is, when you go to a restaurant, They have nuts in the kitchen, bro.
Yeah.
Every restaurant you're going to, there's nuts, there's soy, there's shellfish in the kitchen, and they follow a certain type of rules that have been regulated by our great government, the United States of America, FDA or whatever.
Crock of shit.
But the point is that, like, people out here are doing it safely and people are not going into anaphylaxis. So while I don't think you should have said, I don't give a fuck about your allergies, that was a touch mean. It was a little extra. I actually do think you have a point that if you're keeping it clean and you have a separate cabinet, I think it is a little fucked up that they're telling you that you can't keep it separate and clean, and you are not cooking that stuff when he's there. So you're already doing what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
When I hear like a 22-year-old, I'm assuming this what these guys are.
24 and Lila is 25. No mention about Kyle, but one would assume the same age, if not even maybe older.
Yeah. So I think it's really funny when they go overextending boundaries. I just love when someone in their 20s throws in boundaries to make it sound like legitimate. But in this case, I actually do think, I don't know, that would piss me off. She didn't sign up to live with this person. If you want a nut-free home, like mine, if you want a nut-free, I'm sorry, it had to be done. I have the ultimate nut allergy.
Yeah. Lesbianism.
my girlfriend's allergic to semen. Isn't that crazy?
It's just a sign. You're meant to be. She's meant to be gay.
Well, she's bisexual, but...
Oh, shit.
I know.
God.
But a lot of funny stories there. But you didn't sign up to be in a nut-free home or a soy-free home or whatever. It sounds like this girl might... She's not vegetarian because she eats shrimp, but when she said I cook a lot of soy and nuts, I was like, oh, she might have some dietary things going on too.
Yeah, tofu and things like that. For sure.
Yeah, I don't think you're the asshole, but I think you could have been a little bit nicer in the way that you reacted.
Yeah, I think tact is probably everything with this one, but I think like they are going a little overboard. I think the fact she was even willing to like change what she was cooking on certain nights is super accommodating and just like courteous to do for a roommate's boyfriend, because he's not even the roommate. Like he's not the one paying rent. And it just...
Right. If you were paying rent, then it would be a different situation. If you made an agreement to move in with someone with this level of allergy, knowing beforehand, I think that's the critical. Like, just siphon off, I don't know what the counter space situation is, but just make separate areas.
Yeah. Literally blue masking tape down the counter. This is the nut zone. Yeah. Don't come over here.
Nut zone.
Nut zone. I didn't realize, like, and I, coming from a healthcare background, I know nut allergies are so serious.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that, like, even a nut, like air, what is this big word she used?
Aerosolize?
Can you say it again?
I don't even know if I'm doing it right.
I think you did.
Aerosolize?
That word. I just don't even want to try to keep butchering it. And like, it makes sense with the airplanes that you can't have peanuts on airplanes anymore. They give you almonds.
Yeah.
Which people are allergic to almonds too. So
I know.
Can almonds not go airborne?
It's because peanuts had a massive amount of press that almonds haven't had.
They didn't get that bad PR. Honestly, the almonds that Delta gave me the other day, I thought I was going to break a tooth. Like, they were crunchy. Like, I would rather give me the cookie. Oh. So overall vote on this one was not the asshole.
Yeah.
They were like, you're fine. Like, this is your place. Top comment, not the asshole. Lila would tell me that Kyle was coming over. They like quote what OP says. Well, easy solution. He shouldn't come over.
Right. What's Kyle's roommate situation?
Let's see. There's no updates from OP yet, but I can look and see if there's any comments kind of elaborating on things. I think apparently, there's lots of comments. Okay. Oh, there was an update, but of course Reddit removed it. Reddit is ruining my life today. I want to be honest.
I really don't like Reddit. It freaks the shit out of me.
It's ruining my life. There are a lot of subreddits boycotting, which fully support the boycott, but I just wish they
on behalf of the Writers Guild?
In their own way. Reddit's like really trying to monetize the platform, and so they're banning a lot of third-party apps or something. And so these moderators of these big subreddits use like these other apps to help moderate and keep things civil, and they don't even get paid to do it. It's like
I know.
It's like volunteer work. And so they're all, in protest of Reddit's changes they're all like shut down. So like trying to find my stories today, I have had to go on the black web to find my stories. Like it is so bad. So I support.
Am I the asshole? I bought a kidney off of a family the other day.
Basically. That's what it feels like. So apparently someone asked, like, not the asshole, you're paying the rent. He's not. It's your home, not his. I won't allow people to tell me what I can and can't eat or cook in my own home. If it's such a problem for him, he can just stop coming. Doesn't he have a home too? Your roommate can go to his place and they can both stop bossing you around in yours. OP responds, he lives with his parents. They hang out there sometimes but want more privacy, so they like to be here more.
He's in his 20s?
You would assume.
Now we've revealed a whole other thing about the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, you're about to get some clips and some hate on this. Loser, okay? You're allergic to every other fucking thing under the sun and you live with your parents? Come on, man. Pick one. Pick a lane. You can only have one of those things. If you have both of those things, and I'm sorry, I know it's not fair. You're born with allergies. I have problems. I'm annoying. I have joint pain, very bad joint pain. That's loser shit, okay? I don't live with my mother. There you go.
Good for you, Ashley.
Yeah.
Good for you. I mean, it's giving beggars can't be choosers. Like, you have one option unless you want to fuck with your mom and dad in the house.
I think get over it. I think fuck with mom and dad in the house and just be like, this is a health hazard.
That's one way to do it. I mean, I live at home with my dad still.
I'm really sorry about my tirade.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize it. I didn't even feel attacked until just now.
Do you have any other problems?
No.
How old are you?
Old.
Really?
Older than Kyle.
Older than Kyle?
I think you gotta go.
I'm really sorry.
Wait,
will it make you feel better if you know that when I started stand-up comedy, because I grew up in New York City, I lived with my mom till I was 28. From 24
okay, pot kettle.
There, yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is,
I'm fucking with you.
No, I'll take on the responsibility. I was trying to save money. I was a young stand-up comedian, and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to live with my mom so I can really do this from 24 to 28.
Your mom lived here?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you take free rent?
That's exactly what I was thinking. But I also didn't make it my significant other's roommate's problem.
There's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 29. I live with my dad, but I did get a house, but it's like it has rats and termites. We got a deal.
Okay, you might be a Kyle.
And so I live at home.
My house has
still.
rats.
It's got rats.
My house has infected.
There's so much rat shit everywhere. There's like literally we had to have a rat guy come and put up traps, and we got a rat within like the first couple days. But we went out of town and then we came back and like found the rat.
Where did you build the studio?
The studio is in Studio City.
Okay.
Not near the house.
Okay.
It's safe if you want to record there.
If the studio is not in your parents' house, I think you pass this test. You have a rat-infested home. You got to be somewhere.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good studio. But the rats are, I think, slowly getting killed by the traps. So it'll be fine soon. It'll be fine. There was an update. Of course, I can't see it because Reddit deleted it. I'll see if I can find it on the Wayback Machine because everyone's going to be screaming.
Wow, you are really dedicated to this.
Yeah. No, this is my career.
I know, but like you have so many tools. I didn't know that regular people knew about the Wayback Machine.
What do you use it for?
I know about it because I used to be a software engineer.
Oh, you big
So
smart.
I just like know.
You big brained.
Thank you. I know about it from school.
Yeah, no, it's they didn't archive it. So no final word on the update, but overall vote was not the asshole. So you're 1 for 1.
Okay.
Feeling good
and
yet?
It's just all popular opinion?
Basically, yeah. The Reddit
we always
machine.
Go with I think for this type of thing, popular opinion is usually correct.
Reddit has its moments. Reddit is like very biased about some things. This they seem like they're
Reddit
okay with.
Feels like, to me, the reason it freaks me out is because it just feels like a very, like the way that Twitter and Reddit freak me out for the same reason. It feels really polarized and like pile on.
Twitter's getting really scary though too, since like Elon bought it. Oh, did they repost the update? Oh, the update got reposted.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So update, I sat down with Lila a few days after my initial post and really talked with her about why I felt her and Kyle's request was unacceptable and laid out my biggest concerns. I eat mostly plants, so nuts and soy are like 50% of my protein.
I called it.
You're good. So my grocery bill would increase because I'd have to make it up in animal products. Who's going to pay for that? I'm not vegetarian, but I don't really want to eat like that, and I definitely don't want to pay for it. So would they make up for that increase? I honestly didn't trust them to stop there. I already did what I felt was a reasonable accommodation, and it wasn't enough. So how long until they take coconut, eggs, and tomatoes from me too?
Is he allergic to those things as well?
I'm thinking, yeah.
What is going on with Kyle? Are his parents anti-vaxxers? Like what scenario did he grow up in that he has all these allergies?
It's interesting.
I'm being really mean. Listener, if you have allergies, I support you.
Just don't burden other people with them.
Yeah.
I said I would agree to continue not using his serious allergens when he was present or soon to be, and that was the line. It didn't go over well at all, and Lila told me I was overreacting and I could just do it and kept talking over me when I tried to say that I wouldn't. Eventually, she slipped up with the, quote, well, what if he moved in? And I said absolutely not and ended the conversation with her for the night.
That's what it was really about. They were soft launching the move-in.
Yep.
They were seeing whether or not.
100%.
Yeah. That's wild.
And that's where you say, no, but Kyle can take over my lease because you both are nuts.
Yeah.
And I want to get out.
No pun intended. But you guys are nuts.
I'm
and
done.
I think it's flaring up his allergies because you're not thinking straight.
Yeah. We argued in circles for nearly 2 weeks. And once it was out,
God,
she still didn't drop it. I realized it wasn't going to get better. So I did what I didn't want to do and told her that I was going to the landlord about breaking my part of the lease. And she freaked out. I don't know where Kyle's money goes, but apparently he doesn't have any because she was yelling about not being able to afford it on her own, and he couldn't help even if he moved in. I told her...
Kyle sucks, dude. And his name is Kyle.
He's really struggling. I told her that this had gone way too far, and I didn't think I could be happy living here with her anymore. If it were easier for her to leave instead, that would be fine too. She was really upset, and I said I wouldn't force her out or leave her suddenly on the lease alone, but it was one or the other.
Good
Eventually,
for her.
I love this girl.
Yeah.
Knowing what
Speak your
she
truth.
wants. Eventually, she accepted it and decided she would move back in with her dad. That was the end of April, and she's fully moved out as of this week. My childhood best friend, Allie, has been flip-flopping on moving to my city for forever now, and me calling and saying I had a cheap open bedroom if she came right away got her to finally pull the trigger on it.
Yay.
And it helped Lila out because she didn't have to pay to break the lease since I agreed to cover the full rent at my own risk. Allie has stuff to tie up in our home state, but she still already sent me half of July's rent. I just got to squeeze for a little while, but I'll make it. I'm super excited to see her and show her around. Plus, we've been cooking together since 4th grade, so that'll be a nice change, LOL. And I can get a cat. It's been a rough couple of months, but I'm very happy with how things are looking right now, so I just wanted to share with you guys.
That is awesome.
That's a happy ending.
I love that. That is happy ending.
We don't usually get those.
No, you don't.
No. Yeah,
Also,
they're doomed.
Kyle and Lila sound like they're a good fit for each other. It sounds, I didn't want to say anything at the beginning of the story because I really didn't know much about
didn't want to judge too harshly.
Yeah, the relationship, but it sounded off. You know what I mean? They're a little off.
They seem just very entitled and unaware of what it takes to make it in the real world.
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit. I was gonna say, have you seen those videos of people doing allergy training? So
No.
if you have a severe nut allergy or a bee allergy, you go in and you work with a provider and you slowly start taking little bits of peanuts, or you'll get stung by a bee, and they slowly allergy train you so that you're not allergic to those things anymore.
I knew it existed. I didn't.
Yeah.
They literally sting you with a bee?
Yeah.
Where do they get the bee?
I don't know. They do it. And I saw another girl, I don't remember what condition she had, but it was something where the bee venom helped her condition. I think it was an autoimmune thing.
Got it.
And so she would sting herself every day. She would grab the bee with little tweezers and sting herself.
This poor bee.
Well, they die after.
I know.
And so she was basically being thank you, bee, for your service.
Thank you, bee. Oh, that's really
yeah.
sweet.
But it's just it's crazy what we've gotten to with science.
Yeah.
But I think Kyle should do that because
Yeah, that's a lot of allergies.
Well, and just thinking about going out to eat, there's so much cross-contamination in these kitchens.
Yes.
It's easy to have something happen.
Yeah.
I'm still I can't believe your ex wouldn't carry an EpiPen.
Oh, bananas.
That's actually like unhinged behavior.
That should have been a red flag.
Yeah.
Then it became my responsibility because this is what can happen
So
when
weird.
you're dating someone who is a little more just generally responsible than you are. And everything in balance, I'm not trying to generalize or whatever, but in this scenario, I ended up being responsible for her allergy. Because like I would always have to have Benadryl on me if we went to a restaurant, and like I would get worried. I on multiple occasions I had to like fucking sprint to a Dwayne Reed and like or
oh my
Walgreens
God,
get Benadryl.
I love that they're called that here.
Oh yeah. Well, not anymore. Fucking big corporations taking over.
Now that you mentioned Benadryl too, there's so much research coming out about Benadryl being linked to Alzheimer's and like a dementia risk.
What?
Yeah. So for those of you out there, if you are a chronic Benadryl user, you should really find ways to cut back because there's a lot of studies coming out. There's this one from Harvard Health.
Wait. What's the key ingredient that's doing it?
This is posted in
Googling.
JAMA. So the Journal of American Medicine Association, I believe, is what it actually stands for. There's a highlighted link between long-term use of anticholinergic medications like Benadryl and dementia. Anticholinergic. I'm butchering everything today, but essentially the drugs that block the action of acetylcholine.
Okay. What did you used to do?
What?
What did you do in healthcare?
I was an occupational therapist.
Okay.
Yeah. I worked a lot with Parkinson's patients and a lot of other neuro diseases. So I did see a lot of dementia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. I take NyQuil sometimes. I'm worried. Should I be worried about that?
Let's see. Oh my God. My boyfriend just had the craziest.
I fully thought you were going to go, oh my God, you are going to die.
It is included. Benadryl and Vicks NyQuil are linked with higher rates of dementia. Also,
for my chronic pain, sometimes when I'm having a really tough time, I'll take NyQuil. I gotta stop.
Well, you have EDS, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you have a lot of chronic joint pain. That makes total sense. Have you tried like CBD?
Yeah. It's just the pain is really, it's really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe to people because a lot of people will be like, why don't you just do this? And I'm like, I don't think you.
No, it's like debilitating pain.
Like I won't take prescription drugs.
Yeah.
But now I 100% understand why people do.
Yeah, why opioids are a thing. For sure.
I guess I'll have to look into it, but I wonder if there's anything I can do to. I don't usually take it more than like a couple days in a row.
Yeah.
And then I'm off.
You should try to find at least a version without all the dyes in it. Like because my boyfriend's been taking it a couple weeks ago and we looked and like, usually when you have dye on an ingredient list, it's towards like the very bottom because it's such a small amount. If you look at the Vicks NyQuil, especially the bright red one or the bright blue-green one, dye is like second up or third up on the ingredient list.
They're really proud of that blue.
Yeah. It's like, why?
It's part of the brand.
I'll never understand. Give me something. I don't need it to be colored. I don't need it to be cute. Just give me it without the dye.
Yeah.
Because dye is like a known carcinogen, but yet the FDA allows it in all of our shit. Yeah. I got a bone to pick.
You do. You're very knowledgeable. And I believe everything you're saying.
Well, I'm like, I got on this big like
an attractive blonde woman just tells me things about my
stop.
health. I'm like, duh.
No more NyQuil.
Okay.
We gotta find you something.
Yeah.
Like I wonder, have you tried cold plunges?
I'll take
baths?
cold showers and stuff like that. But the real thing that I did is I did PRP therapy last week for the first time.
Oh, good.
And hopefully that'll help me.
Yeah, stem cells?
Platelets.
Okay. Have you tried stem cells too?
Not yet.
You should get there.
Okay.
It'll be good. I have hope. It's gonna be great.
No, I have hope too. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah, I feel vulnerable because when you have been in pain as long as I have, you get really nervous when you try something that like seems to work for people. And then you're like, oh my God, please just fucking work. Because I've tried things and they haven't worked. Like I did this nerve procedure, very expensive, out of pocket, didn't work. I was like, fuck. Like
that's so like it's almost hard. It's heartbreaking. Like because you get your hopes up and then you're just like, oh fuck. And it's something that it's chronic. Like you only have so many options, and if those limited options don't work, it's just.
I've done really well. I don't know if this is annoying for the listeners to hear about my personal pain journey. I've gotten pretty far in like adapting my life.
Yeah.
But I still pretty much take Advil every night. And that's not good for, that's when things are good.
Yeah.
When everything's good, it's Advil every day and night. So like, that's not good for your gut health.
Yeah.
That's me at my best. When it's bad, then it's like NyQuil every night and a million. I have CBD. I have these lines on my wrists from my CBD patches, and I take the
Yeah. Have you worked with an OT?
I did, and I was in this horrible loop of the exercises. No matter how small I would do them, would flare me.
Yeah.
So I basically had to make a choice between sleeping and PT.
Yeah.
Because if I was doing PT, I couldn't sleep at night because of the pain.
So I wonder, you probably saw PT, you probably never saw OT. So like OT, because I'm like, exercises, yeah, we sometimes give homework, but like OT, especially like hearing about your stuff, I'd say more so like we should find you adaptations to all of your occupations you're doing and start like, because I'm sure like you don't use a can opener still, do you?
No, I don't really use a can.
Okay. I'm just thinking like with OT, we make all these adaptations. Like we do built up utensils so you don't have to grip a fork so hard when you're eating. And you have like, I literally had one in my bag. I just took it out before this trip. And now
my wrist, this wrist is a little, it's mostly my hip. It's my hip that's like the big, it's like standing and going upstairs. So it's like when I take the elevator whenever I do all those things. And then I found what I think really helped was cycling. No one had ever recommended cycling to me, and I had to do it very slowly and very low grade resistance. But I think cycling was one of the things that actually helped me be able to finally have pain-free days.
That's amazing.
So thank you, Peloton, and the gay man who yells at me, Cody Rigsby.
I was going to say, is it Cody? Yeah, I see his TikToks.
Yeah, he's great.
Have you tried horseback riding?
No horseback riding.
So you should actually try horseback riding. It's really, there's a lot of research behind horseback riding and like hippotherapy, which is therapy with horses for people with like CP, fibromyalgia, which is like another chronic pain syndrome. And essentially the horse, you sit there, you're not physically walking, but the movement of the horse mimics the same movements your hip makes if you were walking. So for people that have a lot of pain and spasticity in their hips, it's a really easy way to like stretch and move. So horse therapy could be really good for you.
Oh, I don't want to be a horse girl, dude.
I'm a horse girl. Come join me.
Bro.
It'll be fun. It's not bad. We can go in LA. It's $50 for an hour. You go up, you see the hills, you get a beautiful view of IKEA. It's a good time. We'll go when you're out on your tour.
Oh, man. How do I even start in New York City?
There's stables here, for sure.
In the city? In Manhattan?
Let's see.
We're doing the whole thing.
Well, isn't there horses? Like, I know there's the cart horses in Central Park, which I don't believe in.
We'll free them for my hip.
We should. But I wonder, there's got to be like, even like if you can take a little train up. Yeah, there's something. We'll do some research. Yeah, we'll get you covered. And you're coming out to LA, so you'll be fine.
I'm terrified.
No,
I can't be a horse girl. I can't.
They're just big dogs. You'll be good.
No, I'm not scared of the horses. I'm scared of being a horse girl. I'm scared of like owning jodhpurs.
I don't own them.
Okay, good.
You can be a Western girly.
Okay.
You don't need to be the English. You know the.
Yeah.
You'll be good.
I dated a horse girl for a little bit.
That's why you're scared.
Yeah.
You know how crazy we are.
Yeah, she fucked me up.
Stay away from horse girls.
I was really only like 4 dates.
Oh, well, and she caused you that much trauma?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, at least it's not as bad as our next story. This one is, it's a little older. It's from January of this year. It is titled, My 31 Female Boyfriend, 31 Male, was looking at foreplay instructions in front of me before we had sex. Just wondering if there's something wrong with me for being a bit cringed out and if I should bring it up. Boyfriend of 2 months is really nice and chilled, but shows some signs he hasn't dated much, despite living with partners in the past. Nothing that bothers me, it just may be relevant. E.g., he doesn't iron his clothes, wears tracksuits to all of our dates, commented on how he likes that I don't wear makeup. I do. And offers me beanie hats and things when I've just done my hair. I get the feeling he's not that used to women. We decided to get intimate the other night. We sat on the sofa after chilling for a bit beforehand, and he pulled out his phone and started Googling, quote, how to go down on a girl. Right in front of me. Like he thought I'd think it was nice he was doing that. It made me cringe like crazy, and I felt anxious about having sex. I might be overreacting as I didn't like how he did that so openly and right in front of me. If he'd done it on his own, that would have been fine. I'm sure lots of people do it. But it was weird how he sat there with the screen facing me researching.
Oh.
I didn't want to upset him, so we carried on and it was okay. Just okay.
Okay. I'm of two minds on this one. And I think this is going to be slightly more divided.
Okay.
And oh man, this one, so straight women are different than queer women. And also I'm a more masculine lesbian. I don't wear makeup. I was thinking as she made the beanie comment, I'm like, I'm not even sure that I would know if it were cold out not to offer the beanie. I think it depends how done is the hair.
Yeah.
I think if the
fresh
hair
blowout
was,
or
like, yeah, if the hair was very obviously done, I think maybe I'd be like, oh, you know, like, but yes, clearly he has not been girlfriend trained.
yeah. He's confused.
There's like levels to it, and like ironing the pants and tracksuits and stuff like that. And also, yes, it could make you uncomfortable to see that for sure. I also think I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. We should live in a world where people are more comfortable talking about this stuff openly and honestly before they have sex.
Yeah.
That's like very important to me. And I think like there's some sort of, the straights are not okay in this category where it's like a guy asking you, saying something like, oh, I'd love to kiss you is like seen as goofy or dorky or, you know, emasculating for like he's not masculine. Whereas like that's a really, I think that in the queer community, that's like very hot that someone would admit their attraction to you, ask for consent in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it just goes to show like someone's ick might be someone else's yum.
For
and
sure.
like don't ick their yum. Like
for sure.
I'm really glad you had this side of the take because I actually love this. I love like, yeah, could he have been more discreet about it? Maybe.
He could have been more discreet, or he could have been a little more charismatic.
Hey, what do you like? What are you into?
There's like exactly, what do you like? What are you into?
Yeah.
Let's Google it together. Could have actually been really funny.
Could have been hot, too.
It could have been hot. It could have been funny. You could have been laughing together, like reading Reddit and Quora and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say what it is because it's really personal, but like me and my girlfriend were making out and I noticed I was doing something while we were making out and I said to her, I was like, have you experienced this before? Do other people do this? And she was like, no. And I was like, I'm going to Google this. And then I found some information that like half made me die laughing and half like made me freak out a little bit.
Oh no.
And we were nothing terrible.
Now
terrible.
Everyone is like, what is it?
No,
Ashley?
It's just, I'm probably going to talk about it on my podcast and I haven't fully absorbed.
So
we're having gay sex,
go over there.
teaser. That was not even meant to be a teaser. I just like didn't expect myself to be talking about this.
Yeah.
No, I'll just say it. I'm a little bit of a humper.
Isn't everyone?
Yeah, but like
people
I'm
like
really a humper.
Okay.
And I was Googling about it and I learned some things in the Google that I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm aware of it is actually a girl kind of pointed it out to me once and she pointed it out like negatively. She was like, why are you humping me? I was like, everyone loves dry humping, you know? And I didn't even know I was doing it. I was just like turned on and like making out with her. And I was like, okay, I'll stop. But like, I'm really quite a humper. But the point is that I think this is more, he has a lot to work on, could have presented this information better. I think he's well-meaning.
I agree.
And it's fine. Obviously, like we want boyfriend-trained men in our lives if we're straight. And it's fine for her to feel frustrated by a lot of this, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know that either of them are assholes.
I don't think so. I think like this is just kind of one of those random icks for her. And like icks, I feel like are so uncontrollable. Like I saw a video of this girl who was like newly discovered ick. And it was a video of her boyfriend or husband or whatever riding a bike. Literally just a dude pedaling normally. And like I kind of looked at it. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't look normal. Like that's not I don't know. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. And like everyone in the comments was like, oh, wow, you're right. I get it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And I had one the other day. I went to a farmer's market with my boyfriend, Justin, and we had a tote bag. And it's a tote bag from Trader Joe's with like the long handles where it's clearly meant to go over your shoulders to be more like ergonomic and not stress your wrist joints and hurt your hands and wear it over your shoulders. And he kept carrying it. Like he was so uncomfortable to put it on his shoulder and he kept carrying it.
I thought you were going to go the opposite, but I love that you're like, I don't like the toxic masculinity that you cannot carry the tote.
And literally, I literally go, I'm like, why don't you put that on your shoulders? It's getting kind of heavy. Like we bought a lot of food, like put it on your shoulders. And he goes, it's fine. And I just see him kind of like struggling, like kept adjusting, switch hands. And I'm like, just put it on your shoulder. And the minute he did, I go, that's fucking hot. Like a guy that's confident, put a tote bag over his shoulder. I'm like, yes, that's the opposite of an ick. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like yum is more food. But I'm like, that is so hot.
I will say, I never have conversations with my girlfriend, Jen, like what you're describing.
Yeah.
Straight people, like you guys, it's quite beautiful that you're teaching each other things. But also you get into these like, what's that?
I'm just a nag.
No, you're not. No, you're not. There's just like certain things. We don't have conversations like that much with the queer, you know what I mean? You're really teaching each other how the other gender exists in this world.
Yeah.
It's such a learning curve.
I know. I've made him such a little feminist. I love it.
That's awesome.
Top comment on this one, which the Wayback Machine did come in clutch this time. They go, I think that sounds performative and half-assed. And that is what made it cringe. He wanted to be seen doing the work without actually doing the work, to focus on it at a reasonable time, or doing the work of talking to you about it, which is something you really touched on. It would have been totally different if he said, quote, hey babe, I've been reading a bit trying to improve my technique. Let me know what's working for you tonight. He's 31. I'd have a hard time assuming this was him just being unaware. It sounds like he was putting on a seriously weak little show for you.
I didn't even think about it that way, where it was like, for me, it sounded like, because I'm a comedian, for me, it sounded like he was doing a bad bit. Like, like he thought this would be funny.
I could see that.
Yeah, and it didn't land. But I actually think she's right. I think it definitely possibility that it could have been performative.
Yeah, easily.
But I think she's on, maybe if you put it on a spectrum, we're on the more lenient side, but we're all in the same camp.
Yeah.
He should have done this work differently.
Yeah. I also kind of forgot that he was 31.
Yes, me too.
But I'm just wondering if like maybe because they've only been together 2 months, like maybe he is bisexual and just like hasn't dated a lot of women, because she kind of says like, he gave me a beanie. And despite living with partners, like I wonder if there's like some missing context here.
Partners.
Yeah.
I didn't even, now straight people have hijacked this term. Give it back to us. Queers need partners. Straight people, stop doing this.
Okay? I try to be so inclusive.
I know. It's the correct thing to do.
Over.
It's the correct thing to do technically. But come on, man. We can't have anything. It's actually weird. It's actually weird that the one piece of culture you guys do appropriate from queer people is the most annoying thing. My partner.
People get mad at me on the podcast.
No, they don't.
The YouTube comments, people are like, grow up. Just say girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. Stop saying partner. Like, people get pissed.
They can fuck off. That is this is the direction we should be moving, and we are moving. And yet, as a queer person, I'm like, you should culturally appropriate fingering. You guys should get better at fingering rather than adopting partner. Fingering will save this planet, I believe.
God, people are so bad at it too.
They're so bad at fingering, and fingering is probably the most useful sexual tool. Good fingering, like clit rubbing, not just in penetration. We have a debate on my podcast about what it means.
Yeah, I will say it's definitely underrated, because like going from like my partner. What?
No, say
there
it.
It is.
Say it. You're right. I should stop being an asshole. I'm the asshole.
Now
say
you got
partner.
me. You got me second guessing myself.
Say partner. I'm just always reminded of like Brooklyn fucking me and my partner. I'm like, you guys are both cis and straight. Okay, all right.
Brooklyn, who?
Like Brooklyn, like annoying white people in Brooklyn gentrifying.
Yeah, I don't live here. I live in LA, which is probably worse. But he's the first person that's ever gotten me off, and so I've had so much bad or just like sex before that. And so now that I'm like thinking about it, like there's definitely tiers to like fingering. And I'm like, people should really invest in that education and practice.
Yeah. I mean, if your partner uses a vibrator, which is totally fine, by the way, like use your vibrator in bed. I am not saying don't do that. But it might be worth exploring upping your finger game if that's what she requires. Like it could be a skill for you to learn that she might like. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. And add some O cream on there. I've talked about this like every episode lately.
What's O cream?
Okay, so Pure Romance, which isn't an MLM anymore, apparently. Thank you, friends. We don't like MLMs here. So I would always.
Your people are at risk. The straights are not okay.
Yeah. Oh God, what's that hair one? Monet? People, that one's scary.
I don't know what any of these things are.
Pyramid schemes, baby. They're crazy.
No, I know. I got that.
But so Pure Romance is like the sex toy product company. I don't know.
Okay.
They have this O cream. And so it like enhances all the nerve endings on your clit.
Oh, cool.
They should sponsor me at this point. It's the most magical shit.
Check it out.
It's so good. And they have flavors.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah. And it does numb your tongue. So just fair warning, everyone, if you lick it. Yeah.
Thank you.
But it's a good time. These two will work their shit out. I'm not sure if our next and final one will.
These are great, very well curated. I understand now why you go so viral. Because I've done sort of Are You the Asshole style things before, but these are like very well curated.
It takes a lot of stress to find the good ones.
How often do you release?
Every Thursdays.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one is 6 days old. It is titled, Am I the Asshole for Leaving My Husband at Home While I Spend the Week at My Brother's Because of How He Buys Groceries? Just wait. This one's going to fuck us up the most. I've been in a committed relationship with my husband for 17 years, and overall, things have been great.
What the fuck?
We've had a few rough patches, but what's important to note is that while he earns more than me and is considered the main provider, I have a substantial trust fund that ensures we're financially stable. I work part-time as a teacher while attending university, earning less than him, and most of my income goes towards tuition. Our household income exceeds $200K annually, while the average in our area is below $50K.
Thank you for that.
Setting the scene. One ongoing issue we have is my husband's frugality. He likes to control my spending and have the final say on how he uses his earnings. It's worth mentioning that I've never used any of his income and have no intention to do so. However, the main point of contention between us is his frequent visits to food banks. Despite having more than enough food at home, he insists on going to food banks to save money. He intentionally looks disheveled and uses our beat-up car to blend in, even though he's never experienced food scarcity.
Therapy. Capital letters. Holy shit. What happened to you that you have that level of scarcity mindset?
I've explained to him the need for food donations in our community, even showing him social media posts from local food banks, but he remains indifferent. I suggested he volunteer or donate to gain firsthand experience, but he refuses. The unfortunate part is that since we're never short on food, most of what he brings home ends up getting thrown away. Today, I discovered our fridge filled with fresh produce and meat that clearly didn't come from our regular grocery store. When I confronted him, he admitted to going to the food bank after seeing a Facebook post about a donation of fresh food. People on social media were already asking if there was any left, and there wasn't. I showed him these comments, but he brushed them off, claiming people should have gone earlier. Exhausted by the situation, I packed a bag and went to stay with my brother for the weekend, asking for space to think things over. My husband accuses me of overreacting, being vindictive, and threatens to go back to the food banks regardless of my feelings. His family is also messaging me, calling me an asshole and urging me to stop interfering with his choices. I turned off my phone, but now they've bombarded my brother with messages. Thankfully, he supports my decision and ignores them. All I want is to enjoy the rest of my week without being angry at my husband. Yes, I could let this go and not scold him, but the food he takes could have gone to people who truly need it. I'm not leaving my husband, but but I need a few days away to gain some clarity. Am I wrong for wanting this space?
Bro, I can't believe that she thinks this is a healthy marriage. It's hard for me to imagine what this guy is like in other situations. It's hard for me to imagine that this is food bank isolated.
No, it's not. This is a disgusting, vile person.
Especially because of the way that he is controlling her finances as well. You've got the trust. Get the fuck out of there. If you have a trust, get the fuck... Sorry, I know that's not what she's looking for.
A week away, you should be getting a divorce.
It's like you can feel the trauma in the whole family because it's like, if his family is hitting you up about this,
yeah,
that's like, it's all, yeah, it's everywhere. I'm sure you are not really investigating the other stuff he's doing to you. There has to be more.
It does sound like some decent sized financial abuse. Like, and the fact that she even like makes a point of saying like, I don't ever use his money and have no intention to do so. And yet he's constantly berating her about money and stealing from a food bank. And I think you made a great point, like during the reading where you're like, therapy, like there's some serious trauma here to create this big scarcity mindset, which could be totally true. Maybe he was starving as a child. But I think that's where it comes down to now. Like, you're not now. You're very financially secure. You don't need this help. So if you still feel the need to do this and literally take the food out of other people's hungry mouths.
That's like the real... That's despicable.
Well, and then
it's stealing.
Yeah. And then to be faced with those posts, like...
Stealing from the most vulnerable... Not like robbing Dwayne Reed for NyQuil. You're stealing from poor people. You're stealing from the people who need this.
It's terrible. It truly, truly is terrible. And then just like no empathy when he sees the post. Like,
I hope people are going bananas on this.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Overall vote is not the asshole. So people are very angry. Top comment with 47,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. This is completely unhinged. A man making $200K while married to a woman with a trust fund going to a food bank is unacceptable. I couldn't live like that. And I also couldn't live with someone controlling how the money was spent.
Also, like, how do you look yourself in the mirror after you're pouring yourself up? You're like putting on your tattered clothes, you're rubbing dirt on your face. How do you actively dress up as poor and not look in the mirror as you're doing that? And being like, oh, I'm insane. This is, at a certain point, you have to look in the mirror and be like, look, I have some major trauma. Major stuff happened to me as a kid that I have big time scarcity issues.
Yeah.
But as a partner, that's something that I think about and work on every day. Like, I'm in therapy, I meditate, like, I'm aware of the stuff that I have, like, techniques that I use when I get anxious.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be responsible. It doesn't mean, look, I definitely think she should leave this guy. I think he probably has issues beyond anything near-term fixable.
Yeah.
But if she wants to stay with him, he has to regulate. He has to learn how to do his stuff.
He's got to do some work. There are two interesting comments that I want to read. So someone goes, I imagine there's some kind of food insecurity or trauma around food in the husband's past that makes him essentially steal food that he doesn't even need. Blah, 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 blah. They go on to like kind of talk about that. The next comment down, which is red box, a lot of awards. Some rich people would do this not out of poverty or trauma mindset, but out of a wealth hoarding mindset. They don't tip at restaurants and they always want a bargain. They see their frugality as the virtue that brings them wealth and often perceive poor people as wasteful and therefore deserving of their poverty. If his family is like this too, they probably think taking the food from the food pantry is resourceful in an Ayn Randian way where self-interest is the only rational way to live.
Wait, can I ask you a question? What does Red Box Award mean?
It essentially just means that the comment that even though it's not the top comment has been like highlighted as being one of the best.
Okay. All right. I don't know what any of these things mean.
People really like
that's
resonated.
I don't really know much about that. I've never even heard of that. But like, if you...
It does make sense though. Like, it does make sense.
No, I get it. It's just such a backwards thing because if you knew the level of money that wealthy people have, saving on groceries is not a deciding factor in their ability to build their wealth.
Yeah.
Groceries just aren't it. Like, I understand trying to like not spend more than you need to.
Yeah.
But groceries are just not it. Like I'll try and be vulnerable. Like I was struggling as a comedian for many, many, many years. And one of the things that like, now that I've like things have gotten better for me, it was really hard for me to spend money on things that I didn't perceive as being necessary.
Yeah.
But then when I did, I saved myself time and I was able to put that back into like my work and stuff like that. And it's just crazy to me that people would think I mean, that's like an illness. That's like a mental illness.
It definitely is. And I mean, like, I really, really struggled with like the pandemic. I graduated April of 2020 and couldn't sit for my board exams because all the board locations, the testing centers were closed because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then once I did pass, I couldn't get a job because pandemic, no one's hiring. You don't have the time and resources to train new therapists. So I was unemployed for a year. And in that time period, I was living off my credit cards and had a California food stamp card.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine, like, I didn't even go to the food banks. I only used my EBT card because I felt like the food banks were for people that were even worse off than me.
Yeah.
And like, you have this asshole who has $200K and a wife with a trust fund. And like, I just like, I will never understand people like this.
This is, I mean, just like wild to me. And I'm sure it has to be baked into I mean, it's from something.
I mean, I'm looking at the wife's comments right now and like, he's just kind of like, he's just being an idiot because she makes monthly cash donations to two food banks. And like, I secretly take our extra canned and preserved goods in for donation. So it's like, you got her donating money and food and he's just going back and picking up the same, like, it's just like this
that's
like stupid fucking circle.
That's bananas.
This is divorce worthy for me.
Yeah.
I think this is like.
I'm because it's just it's clearly a symptom and not a isolated thing.
No, and I wouldn't be able to respect this person. Like you have to respect your partner.
Talking about Nick stealing from a food bank.
This is
major ick.
A big ick. Like the biggest ick I've ever gotten from a Reddit story.
It's hard for me to imagine it even being real. Like when you hear stuff like this, you're like, I
fully believe it.
Oh my God, I'm sure. Yeah. But like, oh my God.
Yeah. No. Bro. There's some wacky people out there. Wacky people. And I made like a comment in a past video, like, and I've since, like, I'm not on food stamps anymore. I'm doing very well now because of this podcast and my amazing listeners and all that. And like, I had like a very privileged take where I was like, I want to go to Europe, but like also I don't like spending $3,000 to go to my friends' weddings. And they, like, the listener was very hurt by that. They were like, I'm struggling to even afford food right now and you're bitching about spending $3,000 at a wedding. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, I get it.
It can really, this is so, when did your podcast start going?
February of 2021.
Okay, so we similar trajectories.
That TikTok baby.
Yeah. It can be really hard to determine what your audience will personalize.
Yeah.
And it can
we all do. We all listen with our triggers. It's just like the way our brain works.
Exactly. And it's interesting because our listeners make up a demographic and then you start to see, oh, they're all kind of reacting. Not all, but like, oh, this one really, but like you are, I mean, first of all, $3,000 on a wedding is a lot of money for anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe not that guy because he saves so much on groceries.
Yeah, no. But he's got a lot of extra cash flow.
But like, of course you're allowed to. And also like a wedding is not like a vacation for you.
Well, that's what I really got in my head about this comment. I was just like,
oh, is one comment?
It literally.
Oh my God. You need to calm the fuck down.
I know I shouldn't read the comments. And I just felt bad. Like, and then this story reminded me, like, it's like there are so many people out there struggling right now. Like the cost of living, inflation. Yes. Like we are in this fucked up rat race simulation. It's terrible. But it just like made me think of that. And I'm just like, I did think, I'm like, $3,000 on someone else's wedding versus spending it on yourself is a little different. But then I'm like,
especially to do something
selfish?
That you like really want. No,
I know. No.
Go to Europe. Please go.
I did. I went to Paris 2 weeks ago.
Good.
It was good.
That's awesome.
It was really fun.
I have trouble talking about my vacations on the internet too.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Because they pay me. So I feel guilty that I would take a day off for them. You know what I mean? Like they get the listens. They donate to the Patreon. I want to feel like I'm respecting their dollar.
Yeah. And I know, you just feel bad. Like,
but the good people know that you need a vacation. Not even the good people. The most basic person with a functioning mind knows that everybody needs to take a vacation.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I went to Iceland for the first like,
Iceland is so cool.
It's magical. Everyone should go in their lifetime. And that was the first vacation after like starting the podcast. And that was basically 2 years of like not taking any time off. And I love my listeners. I don't want you to feel attacked out there if you're listening, but I think
I will go on vacation.
I will keep traveling, and I will still bitch about spending my money on other people because it's different. But I think like this person and like all of us in some areas can like check ourselves in our privilege.
Well, that comes back to the guy, really. Like, okay, something's up with the groceries.
Yeah.
Please bring it up in therapy.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. You had some fire takes this episode.
Did I really?
You did. I think people...
Hot take, I think he's right. Hot take, 2 hot takes. Steal, don't be gay, and do crimes that hurt the most vulnerable people in society. Do you know be gay, do crimes? You know that saying? Oh, that's like a queer thing that we say. Be gay, do crimes.
Damn,
be straight, steal from poor people.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Or don't.
I'm joking.
Clearly. Some people can't tell, though. Some people cannot tell.
I know.
It's, you learn that every week, one way or another. Ashley, thank you so much for coming on.
This was lovely.
Where can people find you?
If you search Ashley Gavin on anything, you'll find me. So do it on your preferred platform. But also, if you like stand-up comedy, I'm doing a big theater tour starting in the fall. Please come. It's really fun.
I know, your clips are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Your crowd work is so good.
Thank you. I'll text you when I tour your city. You can go to ashleygavin.com and sign up.
Amazing. Thank you so much to Spotify for hosting me this week. And other than that, until next time, bye guys.